Don't talk to me. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is your Accounting 210. In this video, we keep talking about chapter 11. In the previous videos, we already talked about the direct material and then direct labor. So from this video, we start working on the manufacturing overhead, and we break our manufacturing overhead also to the variable part and also fixed part. So before we go to talk about those things, there are some blah blah blah, background thing for you to read and then get a general idea. In case when I give you the quiz, you can get the right answer. So why we do this standard cost? Why we do this? Because definitely there are good things, but as other things, there are also disadvantages. So advantages is very similar with your master budget. It will give you the benchmark, and then it also helps us to do our master budgeting. Similarly, it motivates the managers and then motivate all of the employee to remember for the rate, for the price efficiency, so they can try to bargain to get the good discount, or for the efficiency, they will try to improve the efficiency. So motivate the employee, and then also can simplify our bookkeeping. But there are also disadvantages. You can notice I leave the space for you, right? So read your textbook. If you need to put some notes, put your notes, just remind yourself. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 disadvantages. I'm not going to read. I leave it to yourself. So if I put one of the choice in the multiple choice, you can get it. If I say, hey, what's the disadvantage of the standard cost? First is outdated, second is lack of timeline, third is lean thinking, the fourth one is cost benchmark. Then you should say, hey, cost benchmark is the advantage, it's not a disadvantage. Okay, so let's go to the real part for this video. Talking about variable manufacturing overhead. Variable manufacturing overhead, okay, variable overhead variance. Similar idea, we still break this down to two parts, and then we figure out what's the reason causing our the flexible budget variance for the variable manufacturing overhead. So let's look at this. You allocate your manufacturing overhead based on machine hour, and then you also have all the data there. Remember, for the formula, I would always put the A and the AS, and then also S and the S, right? AS and the S and the S. So read this number of, this is your data. So you produced 31,000 cases. We already knew that. And standard variable manufacturing overrate $25. You said, how do I get this number? You got this number from our standard cost. It's kind of like the menu, right? From our standard cost is $25 per machine hour. And then we said a standard cost is 0.1 hour. Standard cost is 0.1 hour. So this is your standard. But the actual, okay, the actual machine hour, we actually use the 3,000 machine hour, and the actual manufacturing overhead cost is 85,200. So you can already write it from here. It's already told you it's 85,200. It's already told you 85,200. Or you can just use the actual rate. So you can also use the actual machine hour 3,000 times the actual rate. The actual rate is $28.4 per hour. $28.4 per hour. Remember, I said, do me a favor, right? Do me a favor. When you write the actual amount of the machine hour, also put the actual here, 3,000. So they are the same. And our standard one machine hour, we allocate how much? We allocate $25. We allocate $25. I said, do me a favor, when you put $25 there, also put $25 here, also put $25 here. And then what's the standard manufacturing overhead, the machine hour? Totally, we produced 31,000 units. And then based on the standard, 1 unit cost 0.1 hour of the machine hour. Okay, so now you can look at all the numbers, right? So this one already told you is 85,200. This one, if you do the number, it will be 75,000. This one, if you do the number, will be 3,100 times 25 gives you 7,500, right? And then we said, oh, the difference, we call it variance. Your actual is more than budget, so it will be unfavorable. It's $10,200 unfavorable. Your left side is less than your right side, so it's favorable. We have $2,500 favorable. But we need to give them a name. How do we name them? How do we name them? Look at the numbers. Why there is a difference of 10,200? How do we get this? Is it because of the amount? No, we both used 3,000 actual machine hours. So why there is variance? Why there is different? Because based on the standard, our allocation rate is $25. But your actual rate is $28.4. We have this variance because of the different rate. So how do we name this variance? We call it variable manufacturing overhead rate variance. Rate variance. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. So it's unfavorable. We thought that the rate will be $25 per machine hour. Whenever you have 1 machine hour, you allocate $25 to your variable manufacturing overhead. But actually, we have to allocate $28.4. Okay, so we have to allocate more cost. So we have unfavorable variable manufacturing overhead rate variance. Now we look at this, right? We look at this. Why we have 2,500 favorable variance? Because of the rate? No, we both used $25 as the standard cost. So why we have different variance? Because of the machine hour, right? Because of the machine hour, based on the standard, we should have 3,001 hour of the 100 machine hour, but actually we only used 3,000 machine hour, so we have a better efficiency. How do we name this variance? We call it a variable manufacturing overhead efficiency variance. Okay, so it's very similar with our direct labor. Do you remember that one? I think the name, even the name is the same. So we call it direct labor rate variance. Now we call it variable manufacturing overhead rate variance, right? We call it direct labor efficiency. Now we call it variable manufacturing overhead efficiency variance. Okay, you add those two, you will get our variable manufacturing overhead flexible budget variance. Okay, so let's look at the interpretation. General idea is very similar. So we said the rate basically just tells us the actual allocation rate and the standard budget rate. And then the efficiency tied to the efficiency with the machine hour were used. It tells the manager how much of the total variable manufacturing overhead is due to using more of you machine hours, right? We thought we will have 3,100 machine hour, but actually we only used the 3,000 machine hour. Who we should go to ask for? We should ask for the production supervisor, because it's related with the efficiency. When you produce your products, you use the less machine hours. So we'll ask the supervisor, how did you improve your efficiency? Okay, I will be honest with you. I think for the variable manufacturing overhead, the interpretation is a little bit hard because it's not straightforward. It's not, how to say, you cannot visualize it like direct material or direct labor. So read this interpretation, try your best to understand and read your textbook a little bit, and then we will see focus more on the calculation. We will practice one problem in the next video, so I see you there.